Hi Gagan, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me properly well? Am I audible?
I can. I am not familiar with the workings of this green room, so I don't know how it works. I'm just gonna try.
I think the only thing that you have to figure out the working is with regard to your purpose of your life and being a life coach. Yes, everything will work
Okay,
out.
that's fine. I don't have to worry about that. I believe in surrendering.
Exactly, exactly. But I'm glad that you could take out time from your busy schedule to have a free flow kind of a conversation with me. I was looking forward to it.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to this as well.
Wonderful. All right, so we have a lot of live audience here, Gagan. I'll just give a gist about you. So, Gagandeep Kaur is a life coach. She is a TED speaker. You can find her video on YouTube where she's talking about the nuances of unconscious competence. And she will be posting a lot of videos. She keeps on posting a lot of stuff on her Instagram, on her LinkedIn, on her various social media platforms. She's here to create a lot of impact in your life with regard to her coaching, with regard to her training. And today she has taken out time to come here to talk about her own journey of life. And we will try to do a reflection while having a free flow kind of a conversation to get those learnings out of them.
Great. It was a lovely
Thank you
introduction.
so
Thank
much,
you so
Gagan.
much, Vicky.
All right, Gagan. So let's start from the basics. Let's start from the time when you were a child, as a child Gagan, a small girl who had that vision, that dream in her eyes, and how you went into that journey of finding your purpose in life. So the stage is yours, the mic is yours.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for asking that,
Mm-hmm.
Vicky. All right. So, talking about my childhood, I have always been a dreamer since childhood. So, it's a funny story that I want to share. I was 1.5 year old when Sushmita became Miss Universe of India.
Mm-hmm.
And that time I did not even know how to speak Miss Universe, how to pronounce universe. And I would say, I want to be Miss Universe. So I was such a big dreamer. And I went to
That's so
school.
cute.
Yeah, I went to school. I got admission in nursery. My teacher asked me, so what do you want to be? I said, I want to be Miss Universe. And she said, what is that?
Wow.
So the journey started from there. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, with time, dreams kept on changing. Um, but at the same time, there were few things that were happening. I was born in a humble family. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't very privileged. I didn't go to, fancy schools like private schools, convent schools.
Mm-hmm.
I studied in government school. While the study was fantastic, their teachers were amazing, but at the same time, there wasn't like proper environment to speak English, right?
Hmm.
I studied in English medium. I was really good in written English, but when it came to spoken English, I used to struggle, right? And at home, we used to converse in Punjabi because that is our mother tongue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had a few friends in my neighborhood who studied in convent schools or private schools, and they would sometimes pass comments and say things like, Gagan, you won't be able to do anything in your life because you will never be able to speak English.
Oh
English
my
is
God.
very important today.
That's so
If
rude,
you
man. So rude.
It is, definitely it is. And I don't know what kind of mindset,
Mm-hmm.
children have from such young age. They start bullying others,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't because any which ways they're children, they don't realize how bad it can impact somebody
Mm-hmm.
unless and until they are, brought up consciously by their parents. So that is other story altogether. So yeah, I mean, there were quite a few such incidents which would sometimes put me into low self-esteem zone. But I feel very grateful that my parents have always been very supportive. My dad, he knew the workings of human mind, so he would just keep on injecting that belief in me that you can do anything in your life, Gagan. You can achieve anything that if you set your mind onto that. And that is something that worked magically, because when we are young, it's like whatever our parents say, that is the last word. We just believe it, isn't it? So I would just ignore what others are saying. I would just believe what my dad used to say.
Beautiful.
So yeah, then I grew up.
So your dad was like a positive anchor in your life.
Absolutely. I mean, the way he has brought up me, my sister, my brother, it's fantastic. I mean, I would say that we siblings did not have many friends because our dad was our best friend. We used to share everything with him, everything. And he has been the reason behind everything that I've been able to achieve so far. And of course, my mother is so supportive. She is like the foundation behind everything, support behind everything that has happened. So yeah, then I realized I was really good in studies. I was very studious. So, and I realized I'm so interested in science. So I decided that I want to be a doctor. So there was this transition from becoming Miss Universe to becoming a doctor. And also because of the reason that I did not grow that tall.
So when you are mentioning this fact, I'm sorry I'm interjecting a bit. When you're mentioning this fact that you saw Sushmita on the screen and you wanted to be Cineverse or Miss Universe, what were those qualities that you saw in that girl that you wanted to be like her?
Honestly, I don't even remember that because I was only 1.5 years old, and I don't even know what would I've seen in that I kept on saying that, because I don't remember I said it, but my parents, my grandmother used to tell this thing to me, this is what you used to do. So I don't know, maybe something unconscious that I'm not able to recall, but there was something. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying that then I decided that I want to be a doctor. So I was studying hard. I took medical science. Everything was going absolutely amazing. But then something happened, and that day changed the whole direction of my life. This is something that I had never expected. I had never planned, but it happened. So it was when I was 21 years old. I lost my dad to heart attack.
Oh.
And I, being the eldest child, and considering my mom was a homemaker, I literally had 3 options. One option was to be selfish, continue my studies, and just focus on myself and my dreams. Second, quit studies, start working, but keep on complaining, keep on cribbing why this thing happened to me, and keep on cursing God or universe for doing this thing in my life. Or third, quit studies, go with the flow, start working, surrender, and just embrace what is coming my way. And I chose latter. Because there is one thing that my dad used to say that has always been with me. He said, no matter what comes your way, always give your 100%, because you do not know what you are going to get out of that. And that was the only thing that was echoing in my mind at that point in time. And I promised my dad, the day he left, I promised him, saying that I'm gonna be taking over all your responsibilities, and I'm gonna make sure that I am supporting my family as much as I can.
Beautiful. I think exactly what values your father had and your mother, they wanted to give to you, all the children who are there, they were completely imbibed inside you, and that is something that is transitioning out now.
Absolutely. I literally feel that even though my dad is not here, but we three siblings.
But your dad is there.
Yes, as in like in physical realm. You are absolutely right, because I know where you are coming from, right?
Yeah.
He's always here in spiritual realm. He will always be there. Even we have always been here in this universe, right? But considering, even if he's not in this physical realm, but he's still living inside.
In a very spiritual aspect of life. Definitely he's there with all the energies and feelings.
Exactly. He is living in his children, right? So yeah, that's what it is. And so I started working. Even though it was a challenge for me, I literally challenged myself that I can do it. I started working in British call center, right? At the start, it was a challenge because I wasn't perfect in English. I used to struggle. I would struggle understanding what customers are saying. But I stayed resilient because I knew that's the only option I have. I have to do it. It is now or never. So I gave my best. I gave my 100% as my dad asked me to. So fast forward 7 years, today, I work as assistant manager in training and development department of a well-known British MNC. I am a certified life coach. I am a TEDx speaker. And I really help people figure out the meaning of their life, what is their purpose. I help people come out of their limiting beliefs and live a thriving life, because I have seen what limiting beliefs can do. And if we kind of shed off our limiting beliefs, we literally have so much of potential, and we are capable of so much more that we can't even think of. So that is my purpose now, to literally, so this is what I say. So the meaning of Gagandeep, it is the source of light in the sky, because Gagan stands for sky and Deep stands for source of light. But my purpose is to be the source of light on this earth and help other lives to live an enlightened life. That's what I believe in.
Beautiful. Also, me being a voice coach, I normally go into the nuances of voice. I think another aspect that I want to mention to the listeners is that you listen to Gagan and you start feeling all that calmness, that serene, the peaceful, the vibrant, energized feeling deep within you. Because just listening to you, your voice, it just calms people on another level. Very therapeutic values are there in your voice.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much, Vicky. I wasn't even prepared today, so yeah, I'm not at my best. I'm fumbling a bit as well, but
I like that because I always believe that when a conversation is happening with regard to the intention of a conversation, then the real flow comes out from there. So what I'm trying to do right now, Gagan, is surrender into the conversation.
Oh, that's lovely to hear that.
But this question was pondering inside my head, and I wanted to ask you, I've heard you mention this one particular word, which is surrender, and which has actually created a certain direction in your life. It has carved your life in such a manner, shaped your life in such a manner that all your limiting beliefs, they started getting disappearing. When was the first time you got connected with this word? Because words are very powerful. They have very powerful vibrations.
True. So actually, I would say I have always been connected to this word, but not to the word, but the meaning of that. So when I mentioned that I chose the third option of going with the flow, going with what universe was offering me, that was a surrender for me. But at that point in time, I wasn't aware of the word surrender, and that the meaning of surrender is this. So it was just recently, it was 3-4 months ago, that I realized what exactly is surrender and how it can change our entire life. So I'll tell you how it happened. I was speaking to one of my friends, and she mentioned a movie called The Shift by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And she said, I must watch that. And I was like, okay, because I hardly watch movies, honestly, but if it is related to universe, supreme intelligence, something which is interesting, something which kind of challenges our thoughts and beliefs, I do love to watch such content. So I watched that movie, and there was one point in that movie that blew me away. At that point in time, Dr. Wayne Dyer mentioned, that is so true, but we hardly pay attention to that. He said the most important phase of human life is the first 9 months, when we are in the womb, when we are growing into a full-grown baby from almost invisible cell. However, during that time, we don't do anything. We are completely surrendered. Everything is being looked after.
Wow.
Everything is being done to us.
Oh, wow.
Right? We don't start worrying. We don't start getting stressed and saying that, oh my God, my nose hasn't come yet. Maybe I should go and visit a doctor if it is going to come or not. No. At an unconscious level, we know that everything is just going to appear in our life at the perfect divine time. However, the day comes when we come into this world, our birthday. And that day onwards, human beings, whether they are parents, family, friends, teachers, they keep on injecting things in our mind that tell us that we are separate, that tell us that we are somebody who have to make all the things happen. We have to do everything. We become human doings. Instead of human beings, we start becoming human doings. We think
Beautiful.
We have to control everything, do everything.
Beautiful.
And he also mentioned that this is what is ego. He said EGO stands for adding God out. So when we realize we have to make everything, we start thinking that we are creator instead of co-creator, and that is what is ego. So he said, why can't we drop our ego and just realize and surrender and let that power help us in unfolding our life? And just trust and have faith that everything is going to come to us at perfect divine time. Most of the times we are so much worried. How am I going to do things? How am I going to plan? We are just planning everything, over preparing ourselves. But the day we start surrendering, giving in to the universal power that we have come from, and the power to which we are going to go back into after some years, everyone is going to go back to the same power. So if we just surrender to that, there is so much ease, and life becomes beautiful, serene, and everything flows the way it should. So that's my journey with the word surrender, and this word has played amazing role in my life, and it's gonna stick to me till I am here in this physical realm, and afterwards as well.
So you have surrendered to the word surrender.
Beautifully put together, yes.
No, I completely resonate with what you are saying, Gagan, because if we want to train people, if we want to coach and mentor people, we first have to surrender with regard to this very interesting word that you mentioned, which was human doing rather than human being. Being itself means that you're in the process of becoming something. That means you are still emptying your cup, you're filling your cup, you're going on that journey of learning, unlearning, and relearning. But when you get into that process of doing, you're only trying to get into that realm of achievement, excellence, power, promotions, materialistic aspects of life rather than going inside. We are only trying to go from outside to the inside rather than from the inside to the outside. So I completely resonate with whatever that you were saying, Gagan.
Absolutely, that's what it is. We just have to be. It doesn't really mean that we don't have to take actions. We do have to, but take inspired actions. But don't struggle we don't struggle anymore. We don't get frustrated, because if we take inspired actions, we are enjoying every moment of that, every bit of that.
And like you have told in that video of yours, your TED video, we should go into that aspect of unconscious competence rather than conscious competence.
Absolutely, that's what it is. And I'll tell you something that recently happened. So it was 2-3 days ago, and I do some designing work, and I love the software Canva.
I love that. I use Canva a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the best thing about that is it gives you a canvas, and it is Canva plus S. Like we have the canvas, it is Canva plus S. That means the canvas made simple.
That's right. Yes, that's what it is. And I love the way it has been made. It is so easy to use. Anybody can use that. It's amazing. So yeah, what happened was my subscription was due. So I decided I'm gonna purchase yearly subscription. And I was trying payment, and my card wasn't being accepted for some reason, even though it has always been there on that website. I tried almost like 5 times, and that website wasn't accepting my card.
Okay.
At start, I started getting a bit frustrated, and then I reminded myself, what is the way I should be living by? Surrender. So I said, okay, universe, you are doing something. I know there must be a reason behind it. So I'm just accepting what you are doing. Maybe I'll try tomorrow. What happened? I was just sitting, and then all of a sudden, so it was 2 days later, I recalled, I have to purchase Canva subscription. And I logged in on my phone, and I was surprised to see that on that day only, they had offered a Diwali discount of 50% off. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, I know now. This is what you were doing, universe. Lovely. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. So this is one example of that. And this is how we can start implementing this knowledge, and our life becomes beautiful, because we know, we then, feel that we are not alone. We are not insignificant kind of fragment in this entire universe, but we realize there is this amazing, strong, and omnipotent, omnipresent power that is working for us, and we just have to surrender and see how it is unfolding everything in front of us. So it's amazing.
Beautiful. And when you are mentioning this thing with regard to the manifestation, the incantation, and the affirmation, I have been practicing this thing called SAVERS. So SAVERS is an acronym that stands for S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualization, E for exercise, R for reading, and the last S is for scribing or journaling. So the whole day, if we do SAVERS, it gives amazing insights and reflections in our own psyche. I've been doing that for almost around 10-15 years.
Wonderful. And this is something that I started, I think it was a year ago. So I follow this as a morning ritual. So I would get up, sit in silence. Usually I meditate for like 10-15 minutes. I follow Anapana, which is the part of Vipassana. So just focus on breath for 5-10 minutes. And then repeat my affirmations, visualize where I want to be. And exercise, I don't do that in the morning. I usually go to gym in the evening time. But then I spend some time reading books and doing my journaling. So yeah, this routine is amazing, and I've been following that. And I think we both would like to recommend that to others, isn't it?
Definitely. And even all the listeners, when they'll be listening to this, definitely it will create a lot of impact in their life.
Absolutely. Yes.
So this is very interesting listening to you, Gagan, that how your journey has spaced out and how you have carved your own path and how you are connected to training now, coaching and all. But I wanted to understand, like, if you take into consideration the certain flow of your timeline, your journey, what were some of those obstacles that you faced a lot in your life?
Um, Obstacles, I would say the people,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
The kind of the way they would try to bully and pass on comments, a certain kind of belief system, right? Um, there is another thing that I want to share. So I am dusky. So not in my family or not in my relatives, but I've seen some people who would pass on comments and say, girls should be fair because this is the thinking in India, right? That beauty is equivalent to fair skin. And this is something that is sometimes totally opposite in other parts of the world where people are paying a lot of money to get tanned, right? So beauty standards are different at different places. So we don't even know what is real beauty. People don't realize it is what you are inside, not outside, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So that was another thing. Sometimes I would feel low self-esteem because of my skin color. I would think I'm not beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But again, my dad played such an amazing role here. He was the one who encouraged me, and he would say, I have beautiful features. I should go and sit for some auditions. And I did. And I was able to grab some of the acting assignments as well. So I did play a role in a few telefilms and a few teleserials of DD National and DD Urdu.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
revelation. You are not telling about these things till the time we are not asking you the question of obstacle. Why that is so?
Just like that. I mean, I don't know, it was unconscious. I had forgotten about this.
It was a part of your subconscious. Now we're trying to bring it in the conscious.
You are, yes, absolutely. So, yeah, that was it. And my dad had been a pillar who always supported us come out of any kind of low self-esteem zones we could have gone into for long, right? Because if children are not being pulled out of that kind of state, then it kind of stays for lifetime, and then it
Yeah.
becomes difficult at later part of the life.
Because kids are very
So
curious. If they go through an experience, they start thinking about the experience for a very long period of time. It start becoming their own idiosyncrasies, their beliefs, their values. It might start becoming a part of their behavior. They might start acting in a certain manner, become a part of their cognition. It might become some repressed emotion deep inside them, which will create a new identity inside them. So we definitely need an anchor, a coach, a mentor, someone, a great parent who can guide us into that light and take us away from that into from away all the from away from all the darkness in the world, because children are very sensitive. They have to be carried forward in the right manner. I always believe that.
absolutely, I mean, children are like that pure light. They are like raw material, and they should be given some kind of direction. It can be in the face of parents, or it can be teachers, it can be guardians, or anybody who is looking after them, but there
You know,
should be a
right now
sense of safety.
when you mentioned the word direction, an image came in front of me. I'm so sorry, I'm interrupting you a lot.
No, that's okay.
One picture came in front of me where there's this potter who is creating a pottery. So the kids are like those lump of clay, and the right person or the parents are the ones who are giving that angle to with their fingers and their hands and giving a shape to that clay to convert it into a beautiful beaker or some kind of a pattern, which a vessel which can be used to store and quench the thirst of other people. Just a visualization came to me.
Beautiful. That's what it is. But at the same time, parents have to be very conscious, so they are not trying to create their own copies, right?
Beautiful. I love that. I love that.
And this is something I was recently studying about, that
Mm-hmm.
our children are not our properties. right? They are like somebody we have, it's like we have borrowed them from universe,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should just let them be who they want to be, but at the same time protect them, give them necessary guidance, but do not impose all our beliefs, all our wantings, all our desires on them. It shouldn't be like, suppose I'm saying that I wanted to be a doctor and I could not be. So when my children are gonna grow up, I'm gonna ask them to be a doctor. It will be like I'm imposing my own dreams on them, right?
Let
So
them choose their own path, find their own
absolutely,
purpose.
yes. So conscious parenting, something which is gaining a lot of attention in today's world, and that's very important because that's when we can raise the collective consciousness of the world that we are living in.
Beautiful. So this is one aspect with regard to the external obstacle of the people per se. Anything with regard to your internal obstacles of your mind, body, soul, psyche that you feel like sharing?
Internal obstacle, there's one thing that I want to say, and this is something I've read somewhere, and that's so true, that we do not realize how strong we are unless and until being strong is the only option that we have.
Beautiful.
Right? So up until the age of 21, I was like very sensitive, dependent on my parents, right? And introvert, hardly speak, hardly take over responsibilities because I thought I wasn't capable of that and I have to learn everything. And learning may take another 10 years. But the incident, the life-changing thing that happened in my life, that point in time, just one day made me so stronger because I was strong already, but there was this belief system that used to tell me that I have to learn being strong and it can take years, but that wasn't right. So that day broke all the fake beliefs, all those walls that were there in my mind, and it kind of revealed a new me to me. That is something that I thought I should share, and that may help others as well, because we are always strong. That courage, that resilience, that strength is always there inside of us. We don't have to wait for it to come. We just need to realize our potential. And sometimes, most of the times, it comes from external stimulation when something significant happens to us. But if we want, we can take a conscious decision as well of making that transformation in our life.
Wow, that's a beautiful. I just want to mention that, Gagan, thank you so much for coming and sharing all these beautiful experiences of your life, your own journey, being vulnerable in a very conscious manner so that you can create a lot of impact for the listeners, for all the people who will be navigating through this podcast, this conversation of ours, making them aware that how much of peacefulness is there in your voice, in your thoughts, in your vibrations, in your emotions, in your aspirations, in your intentions. And the story is not complete. It is just the beginning. And what next is there in the chapter for you? What are your plans for the future? What do you want to do? How do you want to achieve that? Anything that you want to reflect on?
I really just want to impact lives, share my story with others. I really want to shake people, and I really want to wake them up from the sleep they have been into, the sleep that is telling them that they are insignificant, they can't do things in their life because of certain experiences they have had. And I just want to tell them, each one of us holds immense potential and we can do anything in our life. Everything is possible. I just want to help people live an enlightened life, and that's my aim. I really don't know how that's gonna happen. I really don't know how many people I'm gonna be helping, but this is my intention, and at the same time I'm just surrendering. I know universe is gonna send the right way to me to make my dream come true. Yeah.
I love the thoughts that you have, and like when you were mentioning that your name Gagan is the sky and Deep is the light. I'm also going for Deep and Deep, which is the depth in the thoughts and the actions that you have, Gagan. All the best for your future endeavors. We hope that you can create a lot of light in people's lives and also by default create that beautiful light inside you. Any last thoughts for the listeners before we end the conversation? I don't want to end this, but just to take into consideration some respect towards time management, I have to do that. Any last thoughts, any tips and tricks that you want to leave with the listeners?
So first, I want to say thank you to you, Vicky, for arranging such amazing podcasts, and
Thank you.
it was
Thank you so much.
great speaking to you and sharing my life with the people who are listening to us. And I would just say one thing, that surrender, because that has been the word we have talked about a lot. So believe that you are not alone. There is a universal power you have come from, and you are going to go back to that universal power. So just trust, surrender. Everything is happening in your life for your highest good. Wherever you are meant to be here, and just surrender. And whatever comes your way, just give your 100%, because you don't know. Perhaps that is the opportunity sent by universe, and that may give you something you never ever dreamt of.
Beautiful.
So that's all I want to say.
Beautiful. And I also want to leave one thought with the listeners, is that please surrender to this podcast and please listen from starting to the end and navigate through it completely, because definitely Gagan has added a lot of value in our lives. Gagan, it was a pleasure having a conversation with you. Thank you for coming at the 11th hour, taking your precious time out of your busy schedule to come and have a very free flow kind of a conversation where we are not aware what kind of a flow of the conversation we will be creating. It's always a pleasure listening to you, your profound thoughts, your beliefs, your views, your insights, your ideas. You just keep on inspiring people more and more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Vicky.
Gagan.
I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you so much, and have a great day, Gagan. Take care.
And you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.